Lately, I've been getting comments and questions like this. Would you recommend a contralto to sing this? I was really struggling with my voice type. And to me, this sounds like you may be relying on your voice type a little too much, to the point where you actually may be feeling a little limited by it. So, if you feel like you can't sing the songs you really want to sing just because you're a soprano or a mezzo or a tenor, but this specific song doesn't fall within your voice type, but you really want to sing that song anyway, this video is for you. We're going to look at the real reasons why sticking just to your voice type may stall your vocal progress and what to do about it. Welcome to Sing It to the World. Let's go. First of all, what do we know about voice types? Voice type is basically a description of your comfort zone. It tells you two things. First of all, it tells you your range, which is roughly the notes that you want to sing. It's an approximate sort of range, okay? Bear that in mind. And the second thing it tells you is the texture or the tone of your voice, which is the natural color of your voice. So for example, it can be bright, dark, light, rich, etc. For simplicity, let's say we focus on 6 main voice types. For my girls, we've got soprano, which is your high voice, high female voice. We've got mezzo soprano or mezzo, which is your medium, kind of mid-range voice. And you've got contralto or alto, which is a low female voice. And for my guys, we've got tenors, which is your high male voice. We've got baritone, which is a medium, mid male voice. And we've got a bass, which is a low male voice. Now, there are other voice types, but let's focus on these main ones just for the ease of it. These categories, so soprano, mezzo, contralto, tenor, baritone, bass, are a starting point, not a rule book. And if you rely on your voice type too much when choosing songs, it can really become quite limiting because you might end up avoiding songs that you really want to sing but are usually sung by sopranos or basses or baritones, you know what I mean. So you basically might start avoiding songs just because they're not your voice type. The thing is, even if your voice is naturally dark and low, doesn't mean that you can't explore higher notes and songs that are just higher. Same with your high voices, same with your sopranos. You can and should explore lower songs, lower ranges, because it all comes down to the right vocal technique. Because with the right technique, your voice is a lot more flexible than the label soprano, mezzo, tenor suggests. Now, don't get me wrong, voice types are not all bad at all, and voice types can be really good for you. Voice types work really well if you want to know your baseline, which is where your voice feels most at home, most comfortable. And in the beginning of your singing journey, sticking to your comfort zone makes a lot of sense because it gives you clarity, it gives you confidence, and it gives you consistency. But let's say your voice develops, yeah, you're improving every day, and then at some point you hit this stagnation zone where you're singing the same warm-ups, you're singing the same songs, you're hitting the same notes effortlessly and very well. However, the progress kind of stopped and you're not really growing. You are just practicing the same thing. Very well, mind you, but you're practicing the same thing. Because the truth is, and we all know it, that the real progress happens outside of your comfort zone. And that's exactly what I suggest you do. So let's take me as an example. My baseline is mezzo soprano or a mezzo. However, on some days, I feel more contralto-like, so I feel like, oh, my low notes are really good today. But then on other days, I feel more like a soprano. My low notes aren't there, but my high notes are great. Even me saying that shows how flexible really voice types are. I'm sure you've seen my lesson on how to sing Golden by K-pop Demon Hunters, and there are a ton of consistently high notes. Consistently, yeah? It's not just an odd one, it's just all high. How am I a mezzo is to hit an A5, yeah, belt in that song. And you probably asked yourself the same question so many times when learning new songs. What do? We adapt. It means that you switch to head voice or mixed voice earlier than in the original song. For example, instead of switching at E5, you switch at C5. So that it works for your voice and so that you don't have to change the key. You still get to sing the song. Yeah, you're not just going, oh no, this is a soprano song, I'm not gonna sing it. No, we're gonna switch earlier and that's it. We're gonna change the register and that's it. We make it work for your voice. and your vocal range changes because you're getting more low notes, you're getting more high notes. Vocal range changes all the time if you work on your vocal technique. Let me give you an example. A student of mine whose bass line, voice type bass line, is a mezzo. So because she's a mezzo, she can comfortably hit G3, for instance, if we're talking about low notes. She hit A2 the other day, which is a baritone starting note, if we are talking about voice types and classifications. And she didn't just hit it, she could sing there, that low, you know? And why could she do that? We consistently looked at doing the exercises with her. It is about vocal technique, and this is what it all comes down to. So now, what voice type is she? She now has another octave, almost, worth of low notes, which is like, what do we, what category is this? You can't say that, can you? So this is where we just need to make sure that you know your vocal range, And you just make notes of, oh, okay, today I could hit F3. Yesterday I could only hit G3. Today I'm a bit lower, awesome. So that means I can do it. Maybe on a good day, but I can do it. If you did it once, you can do it again. Same with high notes, just keep that in mind. Don't just stick to a voice type. Now, I hope by now you can see why sticking just to your voice type may be quite limiting for you as a singer. But how do you approach songs if not from a voice type point of view? You look at a song from the highest and lowest notes perspective. It means that you look at a song and find out its lowest note and its highest note. So you basically find out the range of the song that you're singing. And after that, you compare that range to your vocal range and decide how it's gonna work within your voice. Let's take Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan. I taught this song on Sing It to the World. Please go ahead and check it out. If you see right in the beginning of the video, I say, we're in the key of this, and the range is from this to that. Today we're in the key of F sharp major, and the range is from F sharp 3 up to D sharp 5, which is, what have you done? I say it every time I teach a song here and Sing It to the World for that particular reason. So you can compare it to your own voice and make a decision on how you're gonna approach it. And I don't mean whether you're gonna sing it or not. Of course you're gonna sing it. It's about how you're gonna get the notes. Are you gonna get them on chest voice, on head voice, on mixed? Are you gonna add falsetto to it? It's whatever makes it work for your voice. So for instance, in Pink Pony Club, we had F sharp 3 as the lowest note, okay? I'm in land. That's your lowest note of the song. Now, I know that my comfortable range starts from about F3, let's say, okay? But some days I feel like my low notes are so good I can hit C3, and that happened before. So, F sharp 3, cool. If I can usually hit F, awesome. F sharp shouldn't be an issue, should it? Lovely. So for example, if you are like, actually, my low range currently starts on A3, which is quite a bit higher, isn't it? You could try and get it by just jumping into the fry. Oh man, you could just do that, okay? Because that's not gonna have a note in it. And you can just do that, or you could just stay on the same note. Oh man, I know, You can find what works for your voice. In this case, if it's A and F sharp just doesn't seem reachable right now, you can go into the fry, you can stay on the same note. These are your ways to approach that song. But F sharp is possible with technique, with building it up, with doing exercises, with exploring your resonance and how your voice works. If your starting point is A, F sharp is absolutely doable. You can stretch there with time, consistency and practice. Now the highest note of this song, Pink Pony Club, is D sharp 5. What have you done? Da-da-bam, is your D sharp 5. If in the original song Chappell belts it and you're like, well, belting there on chest voice seems like too much for me, I can't do that, I'm a mezzo, I struggle, or I'm a contralto, I struggle. What do? You keep the song, you don't change the key, because you've got your head voice. You've got your mixed voice, okay? you switch a bit earlier to give yourself time to build up to that D sharp 5. Don't just dismiss that song. If you are a contralto, for instance, you'll be able to get the low notes really well, awesome, but high notes might be a struggle. And you might be like, oh, I can't get that on chest voice. But you don't have to just use your chest voice, do you? You can use your head voice, you can use your mixed voice. And that actually is a good motivation to work on your vocal range, on expanding it, but not just one register. Because that's the biggest mistake. You're just focusing on chest voice, you just want to belt everything. I get it, but use your head voice, because you working on your head voice in turn is gonna help you with your belting. Just trust me, this is how it works. It's all one big machine, and all these little details, they matter. Not just working on one aspect of your range, which is like your chest voice. No, work on your head voice, make it more resonant. Work on your mixed voice, make it a bit more forward. Again, watch my lessons. I teach this a lot in my How to Sing lessons. And this is how you make songs work for your voice without sticking to just your voice type, just the songs that work supposedly for one voice type. So let's sum up. You need to find out your vocal range. Yeah, that's the first step. Then you need to find the song's range, the songs that you're singing. Find that range and compare it to your vocal range. Then you make adjustments. For example, you switch to head voice or mixed voice or falsetto earlier. You change a note or two to fit your voice. Or you adjust the key, but only ever so slightly. Unless it's an impossible case where you adjust the key as needed. So, knowing what your comfort zone, your baseline, your north star, your voice type is beneficial. However, make sure you don't just base your decisions on what songs to sing just on that. Make sure you challenge yourself, but make it work for your voice with the steps that I told you before. Don't look at who sang this song originally and what voice type they are. Look at a song simply from the perspective of, do I want to sing this? And if the answer is yes, use the steps that I told you today to make it work for your voice. Don't let voice types limit you and stall your vocal progress. Use your voice type as a baseline. And every now and again, try new genres, try new songs, explore your voice, put it in different settings every now and again to make sure you're improving. Does your voice type currently limit you? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.